Hey everybody, welcome to Obscurities and Miniatures. Today we have something interesting that just came in the mail, and that is the limited preview edition of the Wadrhun Scion of Conquest for Conquest, because Conquest. So if you're not familiar, the Wadrhun are the newest faction, the fifth faction actually, for Parabellum's Conquest game, be it in their big mass battle rank and file version, or if you prefer a closer, more intimate, smaller scale, their First Blood rule set works with the exact same models, which is probably where I'm going to be using this guy. So the big difference, as far as I can tell, besides the drawings and no real explanation of what's included, is the fact that he carries two sickles. So you can see he's got one in his hand here. That's going to be on the regular version as well. The limited edition one has the second one. I believe the actual model has like a incense censer or something like that. Okay. Well, it's good to see that the bag was absolutely useless. Guys, you can't ship it like that. Ay, ay, ay. Alright. Got a little faux pas out of the way. So you can see here we have the actual Scion of Conquest. I'm not sure if I'm digging the skin tone. Haven't made up my mind yet. Alright, so what's he like? Bunch of other parts there. We'll get out of the way. He's big. He's definitely big. He's also barefoot. He's got, I see that's the incense burner, I think, that actually is in his hand on the regular release. Now, it could be that he's carrying more than one. I look at the top of his head, I think that's supposed to be hair. Yeah, they painted it up as hair there, but then on the artwork it's kind of blending in with his head. Okay. Well, I don't think that's a big issue. Very heavy looking armor. Lots of spikes. Lots of jagged pieces on it. I dig it. He's got a huge claymore style blade that's going to be hanging on his back. And if you haven't had a chance to build any of the resin figures for Conquest, I gotta say they are some of my favorites. They're nice, they're thick, they're chunky. And for resin, that's always a good sign. It helps it stay together. Keep those details. Big, long braids. Longer than any Nord I've come across yet, too. And see, like I said, he's got the two sickles to fight with. It's pretty mean and nasty. So, that's the only real difference as far as I can tell, is his right hand. So if you're not too upset over the fact that you're going to miss out on a close combat weapon, and he's still going to be basically 85% the same model, I'd say go ahead and get it if you dig it. So let me get him put together. Let's grab a couple other orcs just to see how they stack up. We'll grab some Conquest figures as well, and we'll just see how they all compare. Hold on. Okay, we got our Scion of Conquest all finished up, and let me be very clear, he is a big boy. I mean, okay, first of all, he really doesn't fit on his base at all. Now, obviously, if you're playing with the included regiment bases, that's not as much of an issue because that overhang is at least going to, be resting on the rest of the regiment base. Honestly and truly, I think if you were going to use him in something besides Conquest, and I mean, it's a great model, why not? I think he'd absolutely be more at home on a 40mm base. And I'm quite tempted to just base him on a 40 anyways. I don't really see, since he's a hero, he's going to be acting individually. I don't think it's going to be a huge case unless he has like a retinue. In which case, yeah, then we might want to consider, putting him on a typical Conquest base. All right, I'm just going to slap some blue tack on there to hopefully keep him up. So again, I have seen this guy actually starting to trickle into distribution in the US since I got him. I figured it was a limited edition. I wasn't going to take any chances. And I should have known better just because, you know, some of those Founders resin pieces did trickle their way to various online retailers as well. Not to say that it's a bad thing to necessarily support the company directly. That's never a bad thing. It's just the shipping was not the most pleasant to have him sent to the U.S. But I am glad I got it. So, I mean, the detail continues to impress, continues to just sharpen and look really cool. That is a big freaking sword. Bigger than the Blooded's. I almost thought it was the Blooded sword. It's big enough to be his. I guess the Blooded's has a little bit bigger hilt. But even comparing these two, you can see, and this is just, from my understanding, I mean, yeah, he's a hero, but it's a regular Wadrhun. If I said the name right. I keep misspelling it. I just want to say orc. But it's not an orc. Speaking of orcs, if you wished to go that route, yeah, there's some inconsistencies, I'd say, if you wanted to mix them up with GW stuff. I think if you were to go that route, it would be much better mixed with Iron Claws. Jaws. Iron Jaws. I don't know what I'm thinking, but even then, I don't think just the styles are very similar. I think for like a D&D or Pathfinder tabletop type character, I can't talk today, would be a pretty interesting choice. Grabbing a few other models. Actually, you know what they think they were closest to, in my opinion, would be the Yadaro GT Studio guys. And even these are a little bit more wild and feral looking. Our Scion here is a bit more refined than that, and even then, he's still, you know, towering over him. Let's see. Next to a... oh my goodness. Yeah. That's kind of funny, that he's as tall as a GW ogre. Not that that means a whole lot anymore, considering, you know, the size of a human GW model at that time. Yeah. Grabbing some other stuff. A Mantic ogre. He's still barely coming up to the king's chest. A raider from the Nords, also from Conquest. I believe this is an assault preceptor. Does that sound right to you guys? It's funny, I just haven't really been inspired by a lot of the Spire's infantry. I like all their character models. They're interesting, they're weird. Well, at least except for the Avatara. What's up, buddy? Let's see what else. A Brute Drone, also from the Spires. Obviously much bigger than him. A Norse Guard Orc. Actually, these guys are kind of close, but they still have a bit more of a GW vibe to their facial features. Not vibing completely, but I mean, I actually dig the fact that the Scion here has his own style going, and I'll be honest, I'm really looking forward to seeing the actual plastics, considering I've noticed that the last few Conquest kits that I've gotten, which hopefully will be up on our channel in the very near future, actually were all manufactured in Poland as opposed to the US. A lot of the early first sets were all done here in the States. And if you've listened to me complain about pulling those parts off of the sprues, it was never pleasant, and I gotta say the newer ones are much, much improved. Grabbing some Dweghom if you're curious as well. So again, I gotta say, this dude just really, he's got a lot of bulk. I don't know if it's just him, if it's his tunic loincloth thing, his big splayed out stance, the fact that he's got these super gigantically long ponytails. There's just a lot visually interesting. The censer, lantern thing hanging off there, the potions or whatever those are. I mean, there's just a lot of stuff, a lot of things to paint, a lot of interesting texture work. You know, you've got like the ornamentation on his armor, there's furs, there's wrappings, there's the studs, there's the design work, looks like leather work, the spikes, the buckles. There's just a lot of stuff, and I think if you're painting at a much better and higher level than me, I think there's a lot of fun to be had here. I'm going to have fun painting him regardless. I just don't know what to do with his skin. I really don't know. I know that the test shots and the painted shots so far have all had a kind of grayish hue to the skin. We could go that route. I was thinking could go kind of an olive drab-like look like I've done with my Yadaro guys. Could go with a very green traditional tone like this Raging Heroes. I forget what his name is. He's from their, gosh, whatever their Thieves Guild one was. I can't remember. Something like that, in a more brownish tone. Cheating and going with just a Guilliman's flesh contrast. I don't know. I honestly would love your guys' thoughts. What do you think we should do with the skin tone on our first Wadrhun? Wadrhun? I don't know. Scion of Conquest, that's what we're going to call him, yeah. So anyway, if you like this version with the sickle, rather than actually waving a smoking censer around, do get on it now. It is a limited edition, and those do seem to go pretty quickly. You can get these direct through Parabellum's website. We'll put a link down below, or if you're lucky and you do find it online, congratulations. Take advantage of it while you can. With that said, this has been High Lord Tamberlane with Obscurities and Miniatures, saying thanks for watching, and we will see you back here soon. Bye-bye.